listening to Downworlder Dish, a Shadowhunter Chronicles podcast. I'm Kristen.
I'm Robin.
And I'm Amanda.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 3, where we will be discussing chapter 5, Clave and Covenant. What are you doing?
She legit wants me to choke to death.
All right, we're going to kick things off with Robin's recap.
Okay, so last time Clary and Simon watched Eric read some epically bad poetry. Simon attempts to tell Clary that he likes someone who we all painfully can tell is her.
Yeah, that's so obvious.
Yes.
Totes my goats.
He's interrupted by Clary running out to chase after Jace, who appears out of nowhere. Jace and Clary discuss censors, Shadowhunters, and the Institute. Jace tries to get Clary to leave with him, but she runs off to go save her mother, who's being attacked. Clary arrives at her ransacked apartment in search of her mother, but is instead attacked by and kills a freaking demon.
Because she's a bad mofo.
Jace shows up in the nick of time to save Clary from the poison coursing through her veins by marking her, and she passes out in his arms.
Oh,
Damn, Daniel. So in the beginning of this chapter, Clary is in and out of consciousness and overhears Isabel talking with someone about how Clary's been out for 3 days. Clary's having dreams, some of her mother, Luke, and Jace, all kind of eerie seeming.
Well, you,
Uh-huh.
but I think it's important to really discuss what the dreams are about.
Okay. See, I thought it meant something, so go on.
Well, Kristen's got to open the book.
Oh, okay.
Because she has the book. It's on page 56.
Okay, so do you want to...
Just read it.
Okay.
You got it.
Shit. Okay, just reading from the book. The dreams held her, one after the other, a river of images that bore her along like a leaf tossed in a current. She saw her mother lying in a hospital bed, eyes like bruises in her white face. She saw Luke standing atop a pile of bones, Jace with white feathered wings sprouting out his back, Isabel sitting naked with her whip curled around her like a net of gold rings, Simon with crosses burned into the palms of his hands, angels falling and burning, falling out of the sky.
Eerie.
Right.
Super creepy.
Yeah.
We touch on everybody.
Uh-huh. Yes, definitely.
Except Alec.
Except Alec. Alec is not in her dreams.
Well,
Yeah.
so far.
And neither's Hodge, guys.
Right.
This mysterious Hodge,
Right.
the mastermind of the kidnapping
Sure.
of Clary.
I just envision him being this old, decrepit.
I do too. Like a hunchback.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yes.
Dumbledore.
No, smaller. So Clary overhears another conversation between Alec and Isabel. Alec asks where Jace is and reveals that he hasn't come to see Clary since she arrived, even though he's the one that saved her.
So when you guys were reading, so she does this pretty cool, where it's Clary's unconscious, but it's still her point of view.
Uh-huh.
Because it's when she wakes up.
Right.
Right.
So did you think that it was Isabel and Jace talking?
No.
At first?
I did.
I did.
Uh-huh.
You knew.
No, I knew it was Alec. Just the way it didn't sound like Jace. It's
Okay.
not the kind of words that he would use.
Okay.
Okay.
And he wouldn't be he's more flippant. Alec is more earnest.
Okay.
Okay. Interesting. I definitely did think it was Jace. I was a little confused.
I just think it's weird that he's not there.
I agree.
Well, yeah,
He's like, I've done my duties. I've saved this chick.
It's
Well,
a
he's
dick
off
move.
now.
Well,
Yeah.
he's so seemingly obsessed with her that he's stalking her.
Right.
Well, is he or was he sent?
Right. Did Hodge tell him to do it? Or
But
did
did
he
Hodge tell-
volunteered? He volunteered. Yeah.
He volunteered to distribute.
Yes.
Well, and it's Hodge obviously didn't tell him to go running after Clary
No.
when she went to her home.
Sure.
So he has to be somewhat
I think that's one
invested.
He was
sense of
clearly, upset for her,
Yeah.
concerned.
Right, because it didn't seem like it was
But do you think it goes back to she's not interesting right now because she's asleep?
Okay.
Oh, okay. I didn't think about that.
Again, the cat and the mouse.
Or he doesn't want to be there when she wakes up, sort
Right.
of thing. Like
she's playing dead, so she's not interested in anymore.
Okay.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I always thought that it was because, as you can tell from this conversation, that Alec and Isabel kind of have some animosity towards her.
Yeah.
And he just didn't want it to seem like he cared too much about this Mundy
I mean, that could
girl
be it
that
too.
brought in. Like he's saving face from them.
Right. Like he's not just going to sit by her bedside the whole time she's
Right.
there.
And pine
He's
for
not,
her.
yeah,
Right.
he's not gonna like hold vigil.
Hold her hand. Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but then again, at the same time, if that's the case, that it's weird that Alec, not Alex,
That they are there.
amateur move.
Right.
And I could see, I don't know, maybe they don't have somebody that runs the infirmary.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
It
there's
kind
no
of
one
seems
but them.
small, like low staffed, I guess.
Right, which we haven't got to that point in the book,
Sure.
but we've all read the chapter, so you know,
Right.
it's
One
not
of
spoiling
the
anything.
things that always strikes me so much is that like these are children,
Yeah.
right? Like why isn't the adult in the room? Like,
Right.
I know that they've obviously are given more responsibility. They're demon hunters for God's sake, but
Well, at this point,
it's always just kind of weird. Like why aren't the adults
Yeah.
handling the serious business?
in this chapter, we find, or this, we've read this chapter.
Yeah.
We find out that the only people that are in the institute at the moment are Hodge,
Right.
Alec, Isabel, and
Right.
Jace.
Yeah,
and
when
then
Clary wakes up, there's
Clary's
a ton of
there.
beds, but there's no one in them.
Right.
So there's nobody really to run the infirmary.
Right. So Clary starts to wake up and she sits up. Her body's aching and she realizes that she's in one of many beds. And Isabel tells her Hodge will be happy she's awake and that everyone thought she would most likely die in her sleep.
So comforting. Isabel has a
bitch.
great
Yes.
bedside manner.
Yes.
Yeah, I wonder, as much as we said in our previous episode
Uh-huh.
that Shadowhunter men and women are kind of like seen on the
Yeah.
same level. Do you think that she's in there because she's a woman?
I think she's maybe a little jealous, yeah. Or
No, I think
interested.
it's like you need to take care of
Oh,
the
okay.
sick
No,
people.
because I mean,
see.
Alex with her.
Alex with her. Yeah, that's true.
I think it's just a matter
It feels
of
like they maybe
No,
just
so
happen
I
to be
thought-
there.
Yeah.
that when so I think that Alec and Isabel are in there and she wakes up, but then
It happens again.
it happens
and
again and it's just Isabel.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
she's in
okay.
there. And I'm sorry I'm stepping on your toes here.
No, go for it.
But she says that like, oh, Hodge told me that you need to drink this.
right, he told
Told Isabel.
Yeah.
He told Isabel that this is what you need
Yeah.
to do. He told Isabel these are her clothes and she's this and
yes. Well,
I
But
mean,
is it the
might be.
female thing again?
I don't know if that's it or if it's just like
hey, when she wakes up, give her that thing. you
right,
know?
like
Whoever's
just, like,
in there.
convenient.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And we do get further in this chapter.
what?
Alec is an asshole. Like he's not. Like he doesn't
Uh-huh.
like her at all.
Right.
I wonder if they're on shifts.
Oh,
The
that's-
two of them.
Okay.
Yeah, that
So
So
makes
it's like
sense.
maybe they were talking together in a passing shift.
Uh-huh. Okay.
That
and
makes
then
sense.
now,
Sure.
But then why doesn't Jace have to take a shift? If he hasn't been to see her.
because
Right.
he doesn't have to do anything he doesn't want to do.
chores.
Right.
Yeah. Well, and I mean something else that while she's still sleeping is they're kind of talking a little bit about Clary while she's out, and Isabel mentions that she's so small, Clary's so small that she thought she might have been, what does she say? I think a pixie. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
But she's not pretty enough.
She's not pretty enough. And Alec is like, bro, she has like poison running through her veins. Nobody's going to look that great.
Right.
So it's just another one of those
See,
things
I
where
thought that would be
maybe I
something
think-
Jace would say.
Okay. Yeah.
A little
Yeah.
Jace, like a
Yeah.
little Jace-esque.
I feel like Alec really wants to hate her, but like he has a kind heart underneath it all.
Okay.
And so like when he lets things like that slip out, like a moment of kindness, he's like, damn it. Like,
Right. Didn't mean to be so nice.
Or like he
Right.
just has
Yeah.
to argue with his sister.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
there's
'Cause
that.
they got like the sibling dynamic.
Yeah. So I think I feel like she's a little just watching her enemy sort of thing. She
Okay.
really doesn't seem like she likes Clary.
She's
No.
not there to visit her and make
No.
sure she's okay.
Absolutely
No,
not.
it's
Yeah.
out of duty. Like
Yeah.
I guess we have to take care of this
Mundy.
helpless human.
Right.
This pathetic human.
Right.
Yeah.
Again, saying, we all thought you'd die in your sleep. So, she didn't have a lot of confidence. And
Right.
so Clary gets a stabbing pain in her stomach, and Isabel tells her that Hodge told her to drink one of his, what is it, tistanes?
How do you say that?
Yeah.
You're the hippie.
Where's the word?
Tisanes. I know I've heard it before.
Where is it?
Third paragraph
Yep.
down.
Let's see if I can just Google it.
Tisanes. Yeah, I guess.
Tisane?
I would call it a tincture, but
Okay, let's see.
that's me.
Tisane.
Tizan.
Okay. Yeah. So she wakes up with this stabbing pain in her stomach, and Isabel says that Hodge told her to give Clary one of his tisanes when she woke up. So Isabel finally introduces herself, revealing her full name as Isabel Lightwood, and says that she lives there. She then says that Jace told everyone that she had killed a Ravener demon all by herself, and asks if it's true. Basically, I kind of get the feeling she's like, is it true? Like, not believing.
Like,
that
it's hot goss. She wants the hot goss.
Like, tell me everything.
And while she's introduced, she's like, like, Clary just woke up from a coma.
Yeah, and she's just
and
in
she's
terrible
throwing
pain.
shade, dude.
Yes.
Also, yeah, I know who you are.
Uh-huh.
Because she said that.
Yeah, I know your name.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, Clary says that.
Yeah, so it's like, calm the cats down.
Yes,
Retract
absolutely.
the claws, ladies.
Yes. I don't think I could ever talk to anyone like that. That's just not
totally
me.
could.
It's not me either. I'm very meek.
Yes, I am too.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
If I was grumpy enough, I totally. I don't even need to be grumpy.
I think
What
I
are we
would
talking
just
about
roll it off my shoulders. Yeah.
Right.
That's nice, I think I would say, in a rude way.
Right.
Gotcha.
Oh, thanks.
Thanks for the info.
Yeah. So
You apologize for
Yeah.
almost dying.
that's her. That's Robin.
That is me.
So sorry.
I'm so sorry I took up a bed for 3 whole days. Do you need money? Do we need to pay room and board?
How much do I owe you? No, Robin would not offer money.
Do you take MasterCard?
No.
She would offer like help or like her services. She would never offer money.
Can I cook for you?
Yes,
Something
exactly.
I can do.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, so let's see. So Clary gets a flash of the Ravener demon. Ravener. I say it wrong every time. Clary gets a flash of the Ravener demon that makes her shudder, and she responds with, I guess I did. Like, I think she's realizing it's all kind of coming back, and she's realizing what happened. So Clary asks, of course, where Jace is, and Isabel just says somewhere, and says that she should go tell everyone she's up because Hodge will want to talk to her. Like, so far, I don't like this Isabel chick, okay? He's somewhere. Like, come on, figure it out on your own, girl.
Okay, but in Isabel's defense, okay, she's known Jace for at this point in the chapter, we don't know how long, but we can assume it's been a long time.
Right.
It's Jace. Like, come on. Like, girls aren't falling all over him all the time. Like, I would be sick of it too and be annoyed and
absolutely.
be like, I'm not. It's like when you play like Mama Bear to your guy friends when they have like the clingy chicks around and you have to be like run interference and be like, look, lady, you need to calm down. He's not interested.
Right.
Like,
Aww.
I feel like she's like the wingman or like the interference.
Okay. I think she's just jealous. I think she's a little brat.
Yeah.
So far.
I mean, that too.
Anyway.
I feel like
that.
probably looking too deep into it again. Maybe she constantly has to prove herself. And she constantly she needs to be loud and annoying and assert her dominance to be heard,
Right.
and to be taken seriously. Even so, it's like she's just all she knows is like sass back.
Yeah, because like what we talked about in last episode about the difference between like men and women in the human world versus the Shadowhunter world, I really don't think it's necessarily even in the Shadowhunter world. I just think that the fear of them being hurt,
Absolutely.
or of them being weak in the sense that they couldn't protect themselves like human women are kind of viewed in our society.
Of course.
I think that's different. Not necessarily like the higher. I still think it's definitely a patriarchal kind of situation.
Yeah.
Right. Well, plus I feel like we haven't talked to many other Shadowhunters besides. Well, we've heard Alec, Isabel, and Jace talk.
Right.
And they're children still, as much as they're acting like little adults,
Right.
murdering demon
Murdering
murdering adults.
things.
But it seems like maybe it's not important for Shadowhunters to have manners
Okay.
in the way that we're used to
Yeah.
having manners. So she's like, I don't know, he's somewhere. Like, what? Like, it's not. That's not important.
Yeah.
There's a mission to be done. There's not a social.
Sure. Okay.
Exactly. I don't know why I'm repeating everything you're saying. Yes, social niceties.
Social niceties?
Social niceties.
I didn't even realize you were repeating what I said.
Because I'm agreeing with you so much. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah, that.
But I feel like maybe it's just not important to them. Maybe she's been told, when she wakes up, give her this, and you come and get me.
Right.
And that's all she,
right.
And to her, she can't even fathom.
They're one-track minds.
Why do you care? Like,
and I don't know if she's even, she's interested in Jace. It's like, he's the one connection she has to there. You know, he brought her there. Where's the dude that brought me here? Like, why am I here? Please, what's next?
Right, and I'm sure that's how Clary means it.
Yeah. Half and half, probably.
Right, let's be honest.
Last time I saw him, I was cuddled up to him.
I was
like
in
a
his
cartwheel.
What do you call that? His nuzzling his neck.
The nape of his neck.
Yes, the nape. Thank you.
The nape of his neck is in the back.
Okay, listen. Smarty pants. Book learning.
She was snuggled, okay.
The crook.
The crook. Okay, that'll work.
Yes,
crook. There you go.
Right, you've written romance novels. You know a million ways to,
she knows disgusting.
The body. I know the human form.
Right. So eventually Isabel points out the bathroom and tells Clary that she left some old clothes in there just in case she wanted to change, since hers were covered in blood and poison. And so Jace burned them.
Which begs,
who changed her?
Exactly. Hopefully Isabel? I don't know.
Was it though?
I know. What is she wearing now? They don't say. Is it a hospital gown? Is it already some of Isabel's other clothes? What is she wearing?
Say what she's wearing?
I don't know. Let me look.
I don't know, but that's got to be yeah. And what part of
Well, if Jace burned her clothes, why would he not have been the one that changed her?
Well, and is she still is she nude, or is it she has?
Did she get to keep her bra?
I think she's clothed in something.
But I meant when did her bra have to get taken off?
Right.
How
deep did this poison go?
Yeah.
It just says that she hugged the sheet around herself.
Okay.
Okay, so she probably is naked.
She probably is.
Interesting. Oh, okay, so she's wearing Isabel's underwear. Okay.
Or no underwear.
That's a good point.
So do you think...
But her pants are huge on her, so you would think...
Otherwise...
Well, they're long. I don't know if they're necessarily I guess they're probably fuller in the hips.
I imagine.
Because I imagine Isabel being curvy.
Exactly, I do too. They talk about Clary being so small.
Right.
Petite.
she's got no boobs, no hips. She's just
Poor
a board.
thing, yeah. Oh. So while the girls talk about Jace, Isabel mentions that Jace basically, she's asking... So Jace had burned her clothes. So while the girls are talking, Clary asks Isabel if Jace is always so rude, basically.
Right, because she was like, he burned my clothes,
right.
How rude.
Exactly. Yeah. So Isabel mentions that he is such a, him being a dick is basically what makes him so sexy.
I mean, yeah.
Right, that's part of it, I suppose.
He's a bad boy type.
Yeah, and that he's killed more demons than anyone else his age. So Clary is clearly confused, as I was too, and asks, she wants to clarify. She thought Jace was Isabel's brother, and that would be awkward. Because I think she says he's damn sexy. So...
that's what makes him so damn sexy.
Yeah, exactly.
That is what it says.
Yeah, so Isabel clarifies that, so Clary's asking why he doesn't live with his own parents if that's not her brother. And, yeah. This is a lot of questions.
I feel okay, again, we're talking about social niceties.
Yeah.
Right.
And I would totally want, as Krista would say, the hot goss.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
But I feel like I would wait.
No. It's a little early.
I feel like I would ask. I'd be like, wait, what? Aren't you guys brother and sister?
Uh-huh.
But I wouldn't be like, so why doesn't he live with his own mom and dad?
Uh-huh.
I would be more so why does he live here with you? I would have phrased the question differently, but I would have asked the same question.
But how does Clary know that her parents aren't there?
And how does she know he lives there? Did he tell her he lives there? I don't think he did so far.
No, but I think she's assuming.
Okay. I know in real life someone that lived with their grandma, grandpa, whatever.
Yeah.
I still don't know. I've known them for years. I still don't know what happened.
Yeah.
Because I'm just not that person. It's not my business.
I don't know. I guess... Okay.
I think because it's not like they're saying they're not. She's saying that they're not related. She's like,
okay,
well, why?
That's a good point. Yeah, they're not even cousins or anything like that. Yeah.
It doesn't like
Okay.
there's no preamble to kind of indicate that it might be something tragic.
Right. Of course.
So like I feel like she's free to ask the question. And let's be honest. If I was alone with another girl and there was this guy that I'm like, okay. give me the deets.
Right.
What is going on?
Uh-huh.
And I would be like, I don't know how long I'm going to have to get this information before
That's true.
something crazy happens.
Right.
Again.
Well, and obviously
I guess I don't remember. I've been, since I'm married for 10 years, but not, we haven't been married for 10 years, but
Yeah.
So I don't remember, like, being 15. And, like,
I
you're...
do.
I
do.
Hardcore.
Me too.
Now that I'm thinking back on it.
I miss it.
I was not in a good place.
Right.
I mean, I wasn't either, but man, I had fun.
Sure.
But it's like, maybe, like, to 15-year-old girls, like, that is something that's important to her.
Well, and to
it's her
me,
potential. I'm assuming it's her crush.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. To me, I would back off a little bit when Isabel says he's damn sexy, because she Clary already clearly sees how beautiful Isabel is. We talked about it in Pandemonium. So she obviously, I would think personally, like, she thinks he's damn sexy. She doesn't have a chance, right? So I would just kind of let it go. Like, maybe they're dating.
Oh, no. I would wait for more confirmation. Because you can think someone's sexy but not be interested.
I would.
Okay. I don't.
But see, I'm always like, I'm angling for something.
Right.
I mean, like, there was always a way that I could find who I wanted to be with.
Well, and it seems like Alec and Isabel look similar.
Oh, that's true.
They both have black hair. They look similar
Right.
to. I just imagine them looking Italian.
Okay.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
And I don't know why, but that's just my,
But Alec has blue eyes.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
But that kind of like olive skin,
Yeah.
dark hair.
Jealous.
Right. And Jace is like described as like tawny hair and like hazel eyes. Right. Like he's more like a bright blah, blah, blah.
You're very observant like that, though.
Right.
Yeah.
That's fair. So to me, it would be like, and again,
One of these does not belong.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I would like, maybe it's a cousin, maybe it's a whatever, but I don't know if I would have automatically assumed that Jace was their brother.
No, I wouldn't have either.
Right. Yeah, that's a big group of the same sort of age,
like just
kids
because,
together,
yeah,
too.
exactly, and then just they could have all been going out to the club together,
Right.
Well, and also, okay, so back to chapter 1, in the storage room, when Clary comes, like, reveals herself, and Alec is like, who's that? And Jace is like, it's a girl, your sister's one.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
haven't you ever seen one?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
So I feel like there's enough hints to know that they're not family.
Your
but, like,
sister.
right.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm wondering maybe if Clary's just grasping at straws here, like she's hoping,
Probably.
like wait, or even if it's like they're not, like maybe if I put this out here,
Sure.
like I'm gonna put the seed in that I think he's your brother, so
Or
then
she
you'll
could
back
just be
off.
like,
Okay.
have a wicked demon poison hangover and like not even really just.
Okay,
Yeah.
we're probably thinking too much into that.
Yeah,
Sure.
probably.
Yeah. Yeah. Sounds like us.
Sidebar.
So Isabel bluntly says that Jace doesn't live with his own parents because they were murdered when he was 10, and that he saw the whole thing.
It's not funny. It's just
a lot of information to tell a new girl, especially someone that she clearly doesn't seem to like.
it's
Right.
a lot of information for us as readers to have to process.
Absolutely.
And it kind of like, it's one of those things where it's like, obviously for us, this is a reread.
Mm-hmm.
And you're reading it more detailed than I think you would if you're just reading for fun.
Absolutely.
As like a leisure
Definitely. Mm-hmm.
And okay, so just, I want to clarify one thing so we don't have the haters coming after us. His mom died in childbirth. His dad was murdered when he was 10.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Sorry.
Interesting. Okay.
It says that.
It says it.
I'm
okay.
like, Amanda's reading it more deteledly.
My bad.
Right. Yes. Thank you for clarification, Kristen.
Yes,
I
thank
just,
you.
it's what a, yeah.
Yeah. we
Okay.
needed
Sorry. Moving on.
that. No, that's okay. It's just
It's crazy to think to me about someone dying in childbirth. That's
Right.
just crazy nowadays.
It happens.
I know.
dude. That's some heavy stuff.
Yeah.
That's some heavy shit. Okay, let's move on.
So basically,
Cut
what I'm
it
trying to
out.
say is, what I'm just trying to say, we've been hit with a ton of information.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And we get even more.
This means this means this person's connected this way. This is, we learned about runes and steles and oh my gosh.
Absolutely. Werewolves, zombies. Yeah.
And we're like not even to the first part of the book being over.
Uh-huh.
So it just really sets it up for like, this is a fast-paced, moving.
Yeah, sure.
Like, and to me, I've read books before where I feel like it's a lot of, and then,
Yeah.
and I just really like she did such a good job of crafting all of this information that you have to take on. It's like imagine Star Wars is a book and not a movie.
Right.
Okay, you got to know Jedis, Ewoks, the dark, all this stuff, because you get to visually just kind of absorb everything.
Right.
And some of it they don't even need to say. Like, you don't need to explain a lightsaber because you're looking at a lightsaber.
Right.
Sure.
So it's like she's done such a good job weaving this world to where it doesn't feel like you're A, reading a dictionary, and B, where it's just like, okay, this happened, this happened, this happened.
It doesn't feel like an info dump, even though it kind of
There's
is.
so much
it doesn't
info.
feel like
Absolutely.
it because of the way that the information is delivered, because it's delivered via dialogue. It's delivered kind of spaced out in between these scenes of action, so you feel engaged in the story.
Right, and it's not like nothing's happened and you're just listening,
Right.
Yeah.
It's not just like exposition.
Right.
Just like
It's great.
full bore.
Basically.
It is. It's kind of awesome.
Yeah. So Clary asks Isabel if his parents were killed by demons, and Isabel ignores her and leaves, telling her that she might want to go clean up because she smells bad. And again, not a huge Isabel fan so far.
She is next level shade.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Her shade game is strong.
Yes.
It is. Oh my gosh. All right. So once Clary gets changed, she wanders off trying to figure out.
I guess where somewhere is, right?
Right. Like, she's like, what the hell? You just left me alone.
Wasn't she told to stay?
I think she was.
I think she was, but she never listens to anyone. Right. So, and she finds Jace playing piano in some room, which just totally put me back to Twilight. And I was like, do they all have to be broody dudes with tawny hair that play piano in a room by themselves?
It's just like giving another. I think it's supposed to make him more complex.
Okay.
It is.
Like, there's a softer side
It
to
is.
him.
Sure.
He's playing for Elise.
But he like never. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Never mind. I'm not gonna say that. Anyway, it's really funny, but I just I breezed over it because it doesn't really mean anything. It just gives him, like you said, another facet to his fascinating self. So he says that he'll take her to the library to meet Hodge. So she follows him to the library, which is like Belle's library on steroids.
Right.
It's like the library to end all libraries. Like this is the one of your dreams.
Okay.
It's gorgeous.
Okay.
There's like inlay on the ground and all of these books, and she's just kind of like, wow.
Whoa. Yeah.
So she meets Hodge, who is exactly how I envisioned him, except less old.
Okay.
Okay. But like he's just kind of like nerdy professor, like Buffy. Okay. You know the dude from Buffy, their professor. No,
I'm thinking of the one from what's that cartoon with the professor
Giles. You don't remember Giles from Buffy? What is
watch
wrong
Buffy.
with you people?
No.
Robin was too busy watching South Park to watch anything else ever in life.
When was Buffy?
Like late 90s, early 2000s.
Oh yeah, no. I didn't have access to TV then. We were deep in the woods. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh boy. Moving on.
Yes.
So she meets Hodge, and he is surprised that she was able to kill a Ravener demon on her own without any training or a weapon.
Right.
She tries to downplay it because, I mean, I would too.
I think so.
Because I'd be like freaked out. Like I would be like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, bro.
I just did what you handed me. Like,
it was an accident.
I would apologize.
Yes, you would. I'm so sorry.
I
Oh my God, was I not supposed to do that? I'm so sorry.
Does he have a family I should call?
Was that your Ravener demon? I'm so sorry.
I stole your kill.
Yes.
And explaining that she used the sensor, but nevertheless, he's still impressed. He's like, that was good thinking.
Well, and isn't there a discussion, like, if she knew what the sensor meant?
Yeah, like, because Hodge says that the runes, which are the symbols that were on the buttons, were probably choked in this demon to death. But she didn't know what it was.
Of course
it was
not.
just a sheer luck that she used it, it swallowed it, and then it died. So she's definitely not like, yeah, that's right, I'm a badass.
Yes,
like,
I did
she's
that.
more like, I got lucky.
Yes.
Right.
She's being more reasonable about it. Alec, on the other hand, is salty as hell.
Yeah, he is.
He makes it clear he does not believe her, and he is
So
not about
crazy.
it. So I love Alec and Clary in this scene. They have awesome banter and awesome chemistry. He's being so bitchy about this whole Ravener thing. Really laying into Clary, calling her a child and a mundane and just belittling her. And she takes it all in stride. But what pisses her off is when he suggests that she's from Jersey.
Right.
And she's like, oh, hell
Right.
no. She has this great line. It says, I'm from Brooklyn. And so what? I just killed a demon in my own house, and you're going to be a dickhead about it because I'm not some spoiled, rotten, rich brat like you and your sister?
Whoa.
She said it. But I love how, like, that's what, because it's like her identity, right? Like, she's from Brooklyn. She's like, that's the only thing I've got. And I just imagine, like, because I don't read Clary as having an accent, but she was born and
She
raised in
has
Brooklyn.
to.
She has to have a
Right.
Brooklyn accent. So
Absolutely.
you could just imagine.
Do it.
I don't know if I can do a Brooklyn
Just
accent.
say, I'm from Brooklyn, and
I'm
so
from
what?
Brooklyn.
So
or whatever.
what? So what?
So what?
Yeah.
Oh, you did better than us.
Oh, yeah.
That was good.
I could practice and do better.
Interesting.
But that wasn't
So
great.
people from Brooklyn are super proud, I suppose.
Yeah.
Well, okay. I'm probably reading too much into this.
Yeah.
But, like, that's the only thing she has to her identity.
So far.
Yeah.
Well, and no, just
You know,
that
you're
her
right.
growing
Just
up.
in general.
Like, like I
Okay.
said, she's no grandparents.
That's
she doesn't know her
true.
mom. The
She
only
doesn't know where
thing
she's
she has of her
from.
own,
Right.
her only essence of identity is, I'm from Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She's a struggling artist.
Yeah, I mean, she's an artist. She's
Uh-huh.
from Brooklyn. Like, those
Yeah.
are the
Yeah.
things she has.
Yeah.
Interesting.
No, it
In her
totally
life.
makes sense.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that, like, lights her off. Because, like, nothing else. It's, like, not like she could
Yeah.
be like,
I don't care. She
I'm
doesn't really
demon
know
killer
mundane.
too.
Yeah.
Like, right? Like, she's like, no, I don't belong in this world at all.
Yes.
Right.
So, Jace defends Clary, which Robin almost fell. Jace defends Clary, which seems to upset Alec even more.
Uh-huh.
And he insists again that she shouldn't even be in the Institute. Hodge tries to get them back on track, explaining that a mundane attacked by a demon is well within their purview. Shadowhunters are there to protect the mundane world.
Okay.
So if she's being attacked by a demon, then saving her is part of their mandate.
Yes.
But Alec isn't having it. He's bringing up the elephant in the room. Why was there a demon attack on a seemingly normal, mundane household?
It's a good question.
It is a valid question.
Yeah.
And what's Clary's mother's role in this whole thing? If she was innocent, why is there a demon in her house?
Yes.
And Clary's not happy about that, but Hodge kind of swoops in before things can go a little crazy again. And he explains that mundanes can't summon demons without the help of a witch or a warlock. Clary mentions Madame Dorothea, but Jace dismisses her as a source because he's already checked her out. He said she's just a fraud, just kind of one
So
of
when
those.
did he check her out?
I don't know.
Maybe in the 3 days since she's been passed out.
Okay.
Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Right.
Without any leads, Hodge decides it's time that they notify the Clave about Clary. Jace objects and tells them that Clary is not a mundane, which is news to everybody.
Yes.
Wait, Okay, sorry.
Uh-huh.
Before we drop this bomb.
Okay.
Okay, so what do they need to tell the Clave about? Like, just...
Well, that a mundane knows about Shadowhunters and has seen the Shadow World.
Okay.
So that's important for the Clave to know. I'm assuming so they can get a warlock to wipe her memory.
Oh, okay.
Because they got to protect their secret.
Okay.
Interesting.
Because it seems like Jace is almost, like, afraid.
Mm-hmm. About what they'll do to her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or
he needs to be in her memories, apparently.
Well, I thought it was more like what they would do to him.
Oh.
Like he broke some kind of law or did something.
Well, I mean,
and Hodge is already set. Well,
as we get into it, yeah.
Right. It
At
sounds
this
like he
point.
shouldn't have hidden her, right?
No.
But
Yeah.
they don't.
They don't know that
before
yet.
they know that now.
Yeah. But, I
Okay.
mean, at the same time, like, I think it's just, like, he wants to find out what happened. I feel like
Too
he's
curious.
I feel like he's got a curious mind and he wants to solve it, right? Like, because he is the best
Sherlock
shadow
Holmes.
hunter of their age.
Sherlock Holmes.
He's not Sherlock Holmes.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Oh, can we just...
Meow. Okay. Back to
Nerds
Jace.
stick together.
Nerds of a feather fly together.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Anyway, sidebar. We love otters. So Jace, I think he wants to be the best. And so I think he wants to solve the mystery, right? Like he wants to
Like
be
it's a
the
personal
detective.
challenge.
Yeah. And he's like, well, I don't want them sticking their noses in my business. I want to find out.
Right. It sounds like none of them really care for the Clave brothers. Is that what they call them?
Silent brothers.
Silent
The
brothers.
Silent Brothers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Maybe they just want them to kind of mind their business.
Mind their own beeswax.
Yep.
So Jace objects and tells them that Clary isn't a mundane. And they're like, say what?
Right.
Like, what are you talking about? He tells them that he drew the Mendelin rune on her arm after the Ravener attack so he could disguise her from the Ducian demon cops. Mm-hmm. And we will look into the Ducian later. Is that how you say it?
We were debating
Uh-huh.
out of this, and I said Dusain.
I liked Ducine as well, but Ducian works for me as well.
I don't.
Sounds like we don't
I'll
know.
go with whatever, but I'm just not going to say it again. Hodge is 7 shades of pissed, and rightfully so. Marking a mundane could kill them, or worse, turn them into Forsaken. They don't really go into detail with Clary there about what a Forsaken is, but she knows it's not good.
Right, it could have killed her.
Right. Clary doesn't believe it, but they all agree that the only way she could have withstood a mark is if she had clave blood. So, of course, Alec and Jace talk about her like she's not there.
Right.
As boys tend to do.
Murder them.
Especially teenage boys. And they basically decide that her father is probably where the clave blood came from because Clary is adamant that her mom was not a shadow hunter.
Right.
Right.
And like she knows nothing of her father. So.
Right. And she would have told them. Yeah. And she doesn't know anything about her dad. So they're like, well, that must be it. He must have been in exile for marrying a mundane woman. And he must have been a shadow hunter.
It's just crazy to think that that's a thing.
Right? It's... Yes.
Yeah.
There's so much about the clave and their laws and all of this stuff that just like, oh, it makes my heart hurt. It makes me so angry.
Okay.
But yeah, they're assholes.
We'll get there.
Clearly, if you can't marry a mundane.
Right.
Jerk faces.
I mean, it's different worlds.
So Clary's like, okay, I've had it with all of you. I need to call Luke.
I want to go home.
I want to go home to my normal.
Yeah.
And if anyone is going to know if her mom like knew that her dad was a shadow hunter or whatever, just Luke's going to know.
And Luke's going to feel like home.
Right.
Well, because as we've discussed, like she's gone to him before.
Right.
When she was having a crisis.
Yep.
So like, why wouldn't she be able to talk to him now?
Absolutely.
Oh, for sure.
And it seems like after everything that's happened, like she needs some sense of ground and normalcy. And I feel like she would want to talk to Simon, but he's not going to be helpful in this situation.
Oh, it would be way too much to explain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She doesn't have time to do that. All right, so I'm going to read the conversation that she has with Luke over the phone. So let's see. Clary lifted it to her ear, the familiar dial tone washing over her like soothing water. Again with the water.
Yep.
Luke picked up on the third ring. Hello? Luke, she sagged against the desk. It's me, it's Clary. Clary. She could hear the relief in his voice, along with something else she couldn't quite identify. You're all right? I'm fine, she said. I'm sorry I didn't call you before. Luke, my mom. I know, the police were here. Then you haven't heard from her? Any vestigial, right? Yeah, any vestigial hope that her mother had fled to the house and hidden somewhere disappeared. There was no way she wouldn't have contacted Luke. What did the police say? Just that she was missing. Clary thought of the policewoman with her skeletal hand and shivered. Where are you? I'm in the city, Clary said. I don't know where exactly. With some friends. My wallet's gone, though. If you've got some cash, I could take a cab to your place. No, he said shortly. The phone slipped in her sweaty hand. She caught it. What? No, he said. It's too dangerous. You can't come here. We could call... Look. His voice was hard. Whatever your mother's gotten herself mixed up in, it's nothing to do with me. You're better off where you are. But I don't want to stay here. She heard the whine in her voice like a child's. I don't know these people. I am not your father, Clary. I told you that before. Tears burned the backs of her eyes. I'm sorry. It's just, don't call me for favors again, he said. I've got my own problems. I don't need to be bothered with yours, he added, and hung up the phone. Ugh.
Right?
Talk about a gut punch.
Yes.
Well,
She's going to feel so alone.
He doesn't even know where she is.
Right.
And he's like, you're better off there.
Right.
Well, to be fair, he probably believes her. She's with friends. And clearly he must know something, right? Maybe he's trying to protect her. I don't know.
Well,
Right.
It sounds like...
Because why would he just be such a butthole?
Well...
All of a sudden.
Yeah. Right. But if you're thinking worst case scenario, it's like, okay, Jocelyn's into something that she shouldn't have been.
Right. Yeah.
Which he must have been kind of privy to, at least a little bit. He's like, look, she got in over her head.
That's
Some
her
stuff
problem.
went down.
I'm done. Yeah.
The police
I'm out.
came knocking on my door, and I don't want anything to do with it. Like, you phrase her on your own.
It just seems strange to not want to help the girl that sounds like he's known her whole life.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird... Yeah, I don't know. It's on and off because you're just like, I don't know.
I just feel terrible for Clary. She just must feel so alone. Because for me, it's like I've always had a decent amount of family around.
Yeah.
So to only have your mom and Luke, and now they're both gone. Like, one's missing and one's refusing to speak with you.
Yeah.
Well, and it's like, how did the guy from the second chapter who says something so beautiful about somebody...
Yeah.
Right.
Just all of a sudden, like, 360.
Mm-hmm.
And to us, I think we're able to kind of compartmentalize that differently as
Yes.
a reader.
Yes.
We're not... I mean, she's done a great job of, like, building her panic and everything. But you're not her.
No.
So it's like, we're like, oh my God, there has to be something more.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
he just wouldn't do that.
Uh-huh.
Right.
No. But when you're so utterly alone and you feel abandoned, and she's obviously insecure.
Oh, for sure.
Definitely.
You know, so it's like, oh, maybe Luke was just putting up with me the whole time because my mom was there. And now that she's gone, you know, I'm nothing.
Poor thing.
Totally.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
So Clary, of course, tries to call Luke back, and the phone is just going straight to voicemail. He has bitch buttoned her, which is just horrible.
That's worse. That's worse than him talking.
Yes.
You know, it's like the same thing we were talking about with Clary not answering Jocelyn's call.
Uh-huh.
Right? Like, it's so
how
much
the
worse
tables
than
have turned.
Right.
yelling.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's like disappointed.
Yeah.
Not mad, I'm just disappointed.
Oh, that's the
Ugh,
worst.
ouch. Yeah. So Clary holds back tears as Hodge instructs Jason and Alec to leave so that they can talk, which was just a nice thing for that man to do.
Right.
Yes.
Because he had to. That's the other thing, which, again, I am way too concerned about
I know what you're talking
Yeah.
about.
Oh, what other people think?
Yeah.
Yes.
So I would just be like, oh my God, how embarrassing.
Uh-huh.
Like, not only is this guy just abandoning me, but it happened in front of these freaking people.
Right.
Oh.
Well,
Yeah.
and like, they obviously have a thing where they're big and bad and puff your chest out, blah, blah, blah.
They're
can't
not
show
emotional
weakness.
creatures.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
She can't show weakness in
No.
front of these people.
Right.
So thanks to Hodge, she's like, okay,
He
get
helps
outta
her
here.
save face.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
But Jace thinks that he should be there, because childish. I brought her here, so I
Right.
should get to stay.
Yeah.
It's like I said, she's his toy.
Yes.
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
Now that she's interesting,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
he wants to be involved in the hot goss.
Every part of her. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
He
So
wants to poke her buttons.
Yes.
so she can't hold back anymore, and tears overcome her as she sits down
Oh,
on Hodge's
absolutely.
sofa.
Totally understand.
Yeah, it's that burning throat sensation that's just horrible.
Your chin is quivering.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, that poor girl. So Hodge begins to ask Clary questions, which sucks that she can't have some time to just mourn, but
Right.
He's got to pick.
well, that, and it's like,
It's important.
it's important and it's fresh. So
Right.
it needs to be done. Like, at a police office. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Clary wants the
Police
police
again.
It's the police. So he asks if she's ever seen a demon before. And she hasn't,
Right.
which we've established.
Mm-hmm.
And you'd think that Jace would have told Hodge, but maybe Hodge thinks that he'll tell him instead of
Maybe
Jace.
she's thought of something or
Right, or something's come
Yeah.
up. And then she also asks us, did your mom ever tell you about a world that most people cannot see? Which, again, the answer is no. She's
Right.
insisting, like, her mom's perfectly normal. Like,
Mm-hmm.
she didn't even let me watch Disney or manga because she said it was too childish.
Okay, so hold on. So in this chapter, she mentions specifically that her mom didn't believe in magic and didn't like any of this stuff. However, in chapter 2, right here. Okay, so this is when Luke comes to the house. Sorry. This is when Luke gets to the house with her mom. In chapter 2, and it says, he plucked the book out of her hand and read it aloud. The world still teems with those motley beings whom a more sober philosophy has discarded. Fairies, goblins, ghosts, and demons still hover about. He lowered the book and looked over his glasses. Is this for school? The Golden Bough? No, it's not. School's not for a few weeks. Clary took the book back from him. It's my mom's. I had a feeling, said Luke. Okay, so not completely true.
Right.
Whether it be intentional or not, I don't know.
Uh-huh.
But I found it very interesting that if she didn't even like to
Disney.
didn't even like
Disney.
Disney,
Uh-huh.
why would she own a book about fairies and goblins and all of this stuff?
Yes.
Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Right. Well,
If she had shunned everything.
And Luke expected it. Like I thought so.
Yeah.
Right. I didn't put that together.
Yeah. Anyway, I just thought it was interesting.
Yeah. Clary is overwhelmed with a flurry of emotions and so much new information. All this stuff has been kind of like hammered at her in the last, basically 24 of her hours, 48 maybe, because she's in a coma, so time doesn't count the same when you're unconscious.
Right.
And so she just basically wants to know, like, could this have been a mistake? Is it just simply a case of wrong place, wrong time, wrong person,
Right.
wrong time? And Hodge lets her know that if it was, she wouldn't have been able to see the demon for what it was, and her mind would have processed the information differently.
So interesting.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Like, such a great way.
Yeah.
Like, in terms of world building, it's such a great way to explain away, like, why other people would have never come across this kind of
Right.
scenario.
Right. So, like, there's basically the glamour,
Right.
I'm assuming is what it is. Just makes, like, she would have seen it as something that wasn't a demon. It's just so cool.
Right.
Uh-huh. So what, like a person, they would have seen it as another person maybe?
Or a dog.
Okay. Uh-huh.
I thought of dog, too.
Okay. That would make more sense, more like an animal.
But it makes me think of this episode of Doctor Who, where with this shape-shifting alien.
Take my hand, Rose. Sorry.
Anyway, it's like
Nerds.
leaving people in a coma. But anyway,
Moving on.
The way that they know that it's him because the dog is the man is barking. The dog is talking. Anyway.
Okay.
That's a big sidebar. Back to this phantom. So he's asking Clary, like, did this demon give any information that could help them lead to see what its master wanted? Like, basically, who summoned them, who sent them. And Clary tells him the demon mentioned something about a Valentine character. And Hodge visibly tenses. And Clary brings up the fact that she heard the name before from the demon in the Pandemonium Club.
Right.
So, like, this is a recurring thing.
Clearly, this person has...
Like, come on, Clary, you're not that slow. Let's put these things together.
Yeah.
It's not a common name. It's not like James.
Right. Or Jake, our friend.
Jake the demon.
Yeah.
Right. So the remains of the chapter is just like this barrage of information. So in order to digest it easier, I'm just going to put it in more of like a definition, sort of.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
We learn the information through dialogue, but it's a lot to go through. So we learn Downworlders are those who share the shadow world with Shadowhunters. And Hodge describes the relationship as an uneasy peace. So Downworlders are vampires, werewolves, fairies, and warlocks. And then...
Oh, you need the book.
I need the book. So it says Shadowhunters. And this is verbatim from the book. It says, we are sometimes called the Nephilim. In the Bible, they were the offspring of humans and angels. The legend of the origin of Shadowhunters is that they were created more than 1,000 years ago, when humans were being overrun by demon invasions from other worlds. A warlock summoned the angel Raziel, who mixed some of his own blood with the blood of men in a cup, and gave it to those men to drink. Those who drank the angel's blood became Shadowhunters, as did their children, and their children's children. The cup, thereafter, was known as the Mortal Cup. Though the legend may not be fact, what is true is that through the years, when Shadowhunter ranks were depleted, it was always possible to create more Shadowhunters using the cup. And then Hodge says, was always possible? And Hodge reveals the cup is gone. And it was destroyed by Valentine just before he died. So Valentine was a Shadowhunter, but he has been dead for the last 16 years. He broke the greatest law of the Covenant by taking up arms against his fellow Shadowhunters. Valentine and his group of followers called the Circle killed dozens of Shadowhunters and hundreds of Downworlders during the last Accords.
Can you say Shadowhunter Hitler?
Yeah.
like legit.
Yeah. And the Circle, they were only barely defeated. Basically, Hodge says, Valentine didn't approve of the Accords and despised Downworlders and felt that they should be slaughtered whole to keep this world pure for human beings.
Slaughtered wholesale is the line.
That's what she said. By she, I mean you. So Hodge reveals that the Mortal Cup is gone, destroyed by Valentine in a fire that killed him and his wife and child. The land that he once lived on is considered cursed and left barren. And the Accords, which he referenced with Valentine, are peace treaty negotiations between Shadowhunters and Downworlders. The Clay felt that peace with the Downworlders was essential in fighting off demonkind once and for all. Like, demons are scary.
Mm-hmm. Right.
We can't do this on our own.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to need help. Which, ironically...
Allies, people?
Right.
Right.
Come on.
Yes.
Well, ironically, the Accords were made possible in part because of Valentine, as the Clave fought in defense of Downworlders when they were being killed, and that's when they took up arms against the Circle, and then that's when the Circle killed the Shadowhunters. So it's like...
Right.
Good job.
Yeah. You did it. Yeah.
Right. That's the definition of irony.
Right. Yes.
We need to, like, save this clip for my daughter because she does not know what the word irony means.
So this conversation between them still leads some unfinished questions. So we're wondering, why is someone evoking violence in Valentine's name? And what the heck does this have to do with Clary's mother? So, Amanda...
Right. Well, I mean, obviously this is as far as I've gotten, but of course I foresee Clary is 15. Valentine's been gone 16 years. He had a wife. He had a child. I mean, could he be her father? Disappeared.
Right.
Jocelyn and the baby ran. They're hiding in the mundane world.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean,
So you think that is...
complete guessing here.
But why do you think someone's evoking violence in his name?
Right. That's a good question. Yeah.
Like, do you believe he's really alive? Or do you believe it's somebody...
sounds like he's back. Like, someone brought him back, right? Maybe
Like
he's
the
a zombie.
necromancy thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a zombie.
He's a zombie.
Yeah.
He's looking for brains.
So he pulled a Voldy and got...
His Horcrux.
Yeah. Got brought back.
Horcrux. So, Hodge says that he's going to send a message to the Silent Brothers who might be able to help investigate this further. And Clary is just, like, absolutely mentally exhausted, and she doesn't even bother to ask who or what they are. She doesn't bother
Right.
anymore.
That's a lot of information.
I'd just be like, bro, I can't.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we've heard so
I need
much
to take a
weird
nap.
stuff. Like, I just don't even care.
I haven't
She's
even
been
had
sleeping
coffee.
3 days, and she's already tired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course. So, Clary's just done. She doesn't want to be there anymore, and she wants to go home.
Uh-huh.
And Hodge, like, says, no. Like, that's not a good
It's
idea.
not safe.
Come
clearly.
on. Yeah,
Let's
that's not
not.
safe. And she's like, I have to go back. I need my clothes. I want to see what's left. I need some closure. And Hodge obliges on the condition that Jace will go with her and asks her to go find him. You know, you have to ask him. He's in the weapons room.
Mm-hmm.
And he tells her that the cat church will show you the way.
Oh, yes, the cat. That's
The cat
right.
church will let you know.
So we know nothing about this cat other than the fact that it's somehow like magical or something.
It knows where everyone is.
Right.
And,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it can like
can
understand.
Like a dog, sort of, but better.
Yeah. I don't think we've gotten all there yet.
Uh-huh. Is he like Salem from Sabrina?
Sabrina.
Oh my god. I don't think he
No.
talks.
Okay.
So, we end the chapter with Hodge scribbling like a mysterious letter, like hastily kind of writing this mysterious letter. And he calls Hugo over, who lands on his wrist. And the landing, Hugo's a bird, by the way. Should have put that in
right.
there.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Hugo's like, yes, master. And he just climbs up on his shoulder.
On his wrist.
Oh, on his wrist.
Right. Right. That's not,
I
that's
just
not what
imagine
happens.
Igor. From,
So did
Yes.
I. Yeah. It's anyway, Hugo the bird lands on his wrist and upsets this old shoulder wound.
Sorry.
But this is why I said Dumbledore. It reminds me of Fox.
Oh.
Okay, anyway.
Cool.
Amanda's like,
She
cool
has
story,
no
bro.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Oh my
the
God.
bird lands on his wrist, and it upsets an old shoulder wound, and it awakens these painful memories. And it's, like, very flashy of what we get. So
Uh-huh.
it's blood and bodies, trampled earth, and a white podium stained with red, and the cries of the dying. Which I'm assuming is kind of referencing this uprising at the Accords.
Yeah.
That's what I think
that's
it is.
what I mean. That's what they were just talking about. It would make sense if that was like an image, like if he was there,
Right.
and saw it. Like that would be something that would stick with you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, so there was a lot of information, especially in the second half of this chapter, like a ton. But one of the most important things that I think happened was that Hodge described the 4 different types of downworlders.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what I want to know from you guys is which one are you most excited to know more information about? And which one would you want to be if you had to pick a downworlder to be?
Okay, can you remind me of the 4?
Okay, so we have werewolves,
Uh-huh.
who are basically your standard werewolf.
Okay, got it.
Right.
Howling at the moon.
Right.
Okay.
Vampires.
Okay.
Same thing, pretty standard.
Uh-huh.
Night children.
Yeah, the children of the night.
Right.
Fairies, who are rumored to be the children of angels and demons.
Right, and they're mischievous.
They're mischievous,
Okay.
and they can be very evil, but they're very beautiful, and they live
Okay.
for a very, very long time.
Interesting.
And they can't lie.
And they cannot lie.
Oh, okay.
And then warlocks, who are children of humans and demons, and they can wield magic.
Okay.
And they live forever. They're immortal.
I think the warlocks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Same.
For sure. Yeah.
It's always been warlock for me. I'm like,
Okay.
hell yes.
Yeah.
I don't know, because I think it would be...
It seems like kind of a dark. The
And
fairies seems a little brighter, but
And vampires are immortal too.
okay.
The only one that's not is a werewolf.
Right. Well, fairies aren't immortal. They just live for a very long time.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So to me, I don't know if I want to be, like, up drinking someone's blood and deal with
Absolutely.
the restrictions that
Mm-hmm.
vampires have.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they can't go out during the day
Sure.
and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And warlock would be cool.
Mm-hmm.
Which, do they go off the mark? Have they discussed the marks yet? I don't think so.
know.
No.
Mm-mm.
I don't know what
So-
you're saying. So
Yeah, so they haven't. So not putting that into fact, like a
Right.
factor, because I think that's a big thing for me. And I know it shouldn't be, but it is.
I mean, I guess it depends on what your mark is.
Right, if you get lucky.
Right. Which I don't care. Like, if I can have magic, I don't care.
Right.
yeah, it seems neat.
Well, and then, yeah, I don't know.
I mean, they seem like
I
the
know
most
too
powerful.
much.
I know, it's
Right.
hard.
It's hard. So I think at this moment, I would pick warlock.
Yeah.
Witch.
Okay.
She's a
Yes.
witch. Burn her.
Yeah, something like that.
She turned me
Although-
into a newt.
It's so weird because really in this chapter and in the beginning part of this book is really the only time that they address witch.
Okay.
From pretty much here on, warlock is a unisex term.
Okay.
So when
Okay.
when they say witch, they do describe witch as like a hedge witch, like Madame Dorothea, where like they've taught themselves certain tricks, but
Okay.
they're not
She's a
magic.
fraud.
Yeah, they're not magic wielders like warlocks.
Okay.
So
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Well, share with us which Downworlder you think you would choose. Make sure you read Chapter 6 for our next episode, and we will see you next week.
bye.
Bye.